Easy, breezy, beautiful. Spoiler alert.
Hello everybody and welcome to the Filipino Freethinkers podcast. It's also a video. I'm Red.
And I'm Talia.
And you're back! Welcome back!
Yes, I actually did not disappear. It's just we were busy.
Yes, we were watching Black Panther, one of the very popular movies that came out lately. It's a Marvel movie, so it was destined to be popular, but it's surpassing expectations.
Yeah, and already the expectations were very high because it was the first Marvel movie centered on a non-white character. Right? All of the other Marvel movies have been focused on aliens and human beings who were all generally, the typical superhero who were white men, apparently named Chris. That's the trend. White men named Chris.
Are there 4 now or 3 Chris's?
There's Pine,
Pratt,
and
at
Hemsworth.
least 3, right? I know there's another one, but anyway.
Sorry, other Chris, we don't remember you.
Yeah, okay. So everyone's talking about this movie beyond it being a good superhero movie.
Yes.
There's that political angle to it. It was the movie that would change everything, especially in the US. It was very relevant because of Black Lives Matter, because of the president who's the villain. I mean, if you're a black person, all of the things that he's been saying about black people and his support, however indirect, for white supremacists, neo-Nazis and all that.
Yeah. The racial tensions ever since Trump came in have been really high in the US, plus all of the violence.
Way before that, it was already a huge thing, with people like Trayvon Martin. And so
it's always been an issue for the US, all of these racial tensions, but I feel like it's been a lot worse because it seemed to have calmed down a bit when Obama was around.
Yeah.
But now with Trump, where it's a resurgence and it's a comeback full force.
Full force, especially since it was Obama who was, replaced. The people who were holding back the racism were back at it, and now we have this movie that promises to change everything in a significant way. So did it do that? Does it justify the hype? Was it a good movie? We'll talk about all these things. So first of all, should people watch it?
Yes. I highly recommend this movie. I've been waiting for it since the end of 2015, actually. If you look at the Marvel website, they do list all of the movies that are coming up. So I checked it a few years ago, and Black Panther has been one of my favorite characters ever since. So I've been looking forward to this, and I was wondering how they would deal with the issue of Storm, so they completely wrote her out.
Spoiler! Spoiler. By the way, we will have some spoilers. We suggest that you watch this first. If you want to, just trust us. It's a good movie. You should definitely watch it. But we're going to talk about how good we think it is from an entertainment standpoint and also from a political perspective.
Yes.
So if you haven't seen it yet, you might want to fast forward to the credits where we tell you to like, share, and subscribe. And
But anyway, because we still want to count your view, even if you don't actually watch anything.
Yeah. So I like the movie too. I really enjoyed it. It wasn't like Civil War. I felt like Civil War had no stakes. They were just like doing child's play. They weren't really gonna hurt each other.
Yeah, I love that about Civil War, that when they actually fought, when the two teams fought against each other, they went for the one who couldn't kill them.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah. Black Widow did not fight Scarlet Witch, because if they did, she would die immediately.
I know. And see, they kind of paired up.
Yeah, they paired
based
off.
on how strong each of them are. But it wasn't enjoyable in a kind of way. But in terms of like story, conflict and stakes, I don't feel like there was really any serious ones in movies like Civil War and many of the other movies. It's different here in Black Panther. I felt that the stakes were real and it was relevant beyond the scope of the movie. Which is why it's hard to divorce, which is coming soon to the Philippines, Black Panther from the politics surrounding it in the US and all over the world.
I'd argue it's relevant to the Philippines right now, actually.
Yeah.
If at this point you have to have seen the movie. Because,
we already warned you. Right? Fair warning, so go ahead.
Because I feel like it's really relevant considering the two stances that Killmonger and the Panther both represented. Yeah. I feel like that in particular is really relevant to the Philippines.
Say his complete name. Black Panther.
Black Panther.
Yeah.
And
Respect for
Eric Killmonger. His name is Eric Killmonger in the comics. They just changed it.
Eric B. Killmonger. Let's be clear about that. Eric B. Killmonger.
Like Michael B. Jordan, who plays him.
Oh, okay, go ahead.
So with Eric, his stance on Wakanda was that he wanted to show. There have been a lot of reviews on it criticizing why he was seen as the villain, because Eric's stance is that he wanted to show the world how strong Wakanda was. He wanted to reclaim black rights. He wanted to show people that black people should not be oppressed, because he grew up in the US, dealt with racial profiling and all of these things, and now that he realized he could have power over Wakanda, he wanted to use that power to help liberate black people across the world.
Yeah.
But he wanted to do it violently.
Yeah.
Whereas from the very beginning, even in Civil War, you'll see that with T'Challa, I'm not gonna say, I'm gonna stick to T'Challa from now on.
Okay.
So you'll see that he's always wanted to show the world what Wakanda is like. He didn't agree with his father on hiding their technology and keeping that away from everyone else, but he did not want to use it to turn everyone else into their subjects. He wanted to use their technology and advancements to help humanity as a whole.
Yeah.
So there is that conflict, and I feel like there kind of is that same thing happening now in the Philippines, where we've been dealing with regionalism and issues like that in the Philippines for the longest time, and it's only recently now with Duterte, who is representing the parts of the Philippines that we have been neglecting, and he's coming back full force. It seems like, much like Eric Killmonger, saying, hey, we have to reclaim, like, we have to make all Filipinos equal again, and we're gonna do this violently. And I feel like that's really relevant in how Black Panther brings it up, and how they show that it's not the best way to deal with things.
It's not the way.
It's not the way.
Yeah. So Killmonger and Duterte, you're making the parallel there. And yeah, populism is a big deal, and Killmonger would have been that. But I'm thinking about the angle where, so you have the dad, the former king,
T'Chaka,
in one end with that fully isolationist policy, and then on the other end you have Killmonger, like with that. Let's intervene in all parts of the world with violence. And then in the middle is Black Panther, T'Challa, with, okay, let's intervene, but let's do it in a peaceful way, like through educational programs, outreach and all that. Let's share our resources and knowledge, but we don't need to be violent about it, right? So I was thinking, and my gripe about the movie is, I really came to like Killmonger. I mean, how can you not like Michael Jordan?
I was gonna say that.
Like, he's Michael Jordan. He was taught by Rocky himself. He's Apollo Creed. He's a winner. You expect big things of him.
He tap dances.
And he really, he recognized the urgency.
Yes.
Like for Black Panther, for T'Challa, like there is time. Like we can do this in a slow way. Oppression around the world is not yet like at that point where we need to take things very seriously.
Very violently.
That's very different for Killmonger, for Michael Jordan, which is why I kind of sided with him. Now, I don't like that the writers of the movie, the director, really put the extreme on his end. I wanted him to be smarter, to have more nuance, so that he was the more, let's have some urgency, maybe some threat of violence, but not necessarily that right away, and put Claw on the extreme end. I mean, they could have used Claw more for me. Right, so that you have the two father figures on opposite ends of the extreme spectrum, and then you have the two middles. Because it's unfair to me that you have Black Panther, who has a nuanced position, and then you have Killmonger, who was obviously almost the cartoon. Like, of course, you don't side with a plainly violent guy who has no nuance, who has no restraint in him, who can't be a leader, who only has passion and emotion, and it's unrestrained. Because in the comic book, he was much smarter than that.
He was.
He actually was educated. He understood the powers of the weapons and the impact and the political impact of this. So he would have been more effective. So that would have been more of a fair fight, right? They made it look like in the movie, like he had the advantage in terms of strength. But in terms of
Intellect,
the advantage was on the Black Panther. So there was an imbalance, and to me that made it an unfair fight. So in terms of the action of the movie, it made for interesting fights, because whenever
Gorgeous fights.
whenever the hero has to go up against someone who's stronger than him, then he needs to toughen up. But in terms of politics, there was no fair fight there. And it could have made for a fairer fight and more politically, difficult decision for the audience. Like, who do we side with if there was no one on the side of Killmonger?
There's never an issue on who to side with, because Bidas is Black Panther. It's
But
literally
even then,
his movie.
See, even then, when it was too obvious, like it's not Black Panther and Killmonger. Black Panther, like Batman vs Superman. It wasn't like that. Of course, it was obvious. But even then, I found myself siding with Killmonger. I was kind of rooting for him.
But that's how populism works.
Yeah.
When you're trying to fight for the rights of the downtrodden, it does make you an appealing character. It's just there are a lot of ways to do it.
Yeah.
It just so happened that he was fueled by so much anger and hatred, like a lot of populist regimes now, that while their initial intentions may have been good, that may not necessarily mean they're the good guys.
Yeah, you're right. And
like SM.
like the good. Okay, so in several of the very critical, they really took the movie seriously. One comment was made that it's unusual in this movie that they killed this sympathetic bad guy. Because in other movies, like let's say Loki, Thor, where Loki was also very charismatic and he won over the audience over the super boring Thor, only very attractive but very plain and boring character. Like Loki was the hero, and he kept doing bad things, but there was still that chance at redemption, which he did do. Like in in every other movie, he redeems himself, right? They did not do this for Killmonger. Like he was just killed off. Like in the movie, he did not reach that fate like very, very fast.
Yeah.
Like he hid in Wakanda first, and then there was several things happened, and several critics pointed out that when there's this black man who seriously challenged the status quo of white colonialism, what they do is, for the first time, they just kill him off right in the first movie. And I miss him. I mean, he could have been like I said, like I can imagine a scenario where he's kind of like Claw gets all of the weapons, and then he sort of is thrown off by some explosion, and it's unclear.
He disappears.
I mean, he didn't have to die. He had the blood of the Black Panther in him, right?
That's true. And, we've seen Shuri heal people with wounds that would normally kill. T'Challa almost died. And, we've seen Wakandan technology fix all kinds of things, which
Bucky.
Like Bucky. Anyway, at the end of that movie, I was wondering, because T'Challa always wears these beads.
Yeah.
These magical technology beads that you just stick into a wound and then it just stops you from dying.
Vibranium. Put the vibranium in there.
I was wondering for a moment if he would do that, because when he took the spear out and he was starting to bleed to death, because with Martin Freeman, with that injury, he just stuck a bead in and it's like brought him home.
Yeah, see?
Sister fixed him. So
I thought of the perfect ending. So the sunset, right? He's dying.
Yeah.
I mean, his blood is already vibranium influenced, right?
Yes.
So it should make him harder to die already.
Yeah.
But it would have been perfect if T'Challa just kind of teared up, cried, and then the tear just fell on the wound. And then
he turns into Tangled.
Enough tears fell in that wound, and then he's not dead anymore. Anyway, I just wanted him to live. That's my main point. And I'm gonna miss Michael Jordan, and I do hope that there are...
The actor himself isn't dead, right?
Okay, I'm gonna miss Michael Jordan in the Black Panther movies.
Yes.
I'm sure there will be other good movies. He's a great actor.
Yes.
Speaking of other great actors, there's so many good actors. We didn't even mention the women.
Lupita,
because it's I think
Denai.
it's undeniably the strongest point of the movie. Like
For
the
sure.
strong, independent women, heroes. They were strong. They weren't just like lapdogs of the men. Like they actually influenced in a meaningful way.
Yes.
What happened in the movie.
We had women who didn't have the power of the Black Panther fighting alongside him, and in martial arts they were his equal. They were protecting him. There are so many parts of this movie that we could go into for hours and hours. Also, we're geeks, so we'll do this forever. But yeah, there are so many parts of the movie that highlight strength for minorities and just pointing out that Shuri in particular, the sister,
Nakia,
is one of my favorite characters because she's a young woman and she's leading the research of Wakanda. She's a 16-year-old kid.
She's a genius.
She doesn't even care about ceremony.
Yeah, she makes Iron Man look stupid.
She does.
Yeah.
She does.
And it kind of makes it like such a waste that if they had Shuri on their side when they were facing all of those aliens, they had a much better shot. Maybe some of the characters did not have to die.
She might have still been in high school.
Maybe.
Or grade school.
Maybe. But a lot of things to look forward to, especially with this development. Baby steps. In terms of baby steps, I think this is undeniably a good one that they took.
Definitely the
there
right
are
direction.
complaints, but the fact that we're even talking about those complaints means it's a significant enough movie. And did it change everything? I think it's hard to change anything significantly.
Yeah.
Right? But in terms of the direction Marvel has taken, I think it's raised the bar again. DC, what are you doing?
DC, we've lost hope.
Yeah.
But you can try.
Okay. And if you want to talk about Black Panther or any other movie, please join the next meetup. We will talk about this and other topics on behalf of Talia, Tin, the millions of people on our staff.
Pepper and Max.
Please like, share, subscribe, and see you next week. Podcast forever.